Hello, what's up, everybody? How you guys doing? How did you guys have it this holidays? Hope you guys had amazing, and very happy holidays. So today, now that we're moving forward from all that, what we be talking about is Wavelanding. Yes, Wavelanding. One of my favorite mechanics, along with wave dashing from Melee. I used to be a Melee player actually from back in the day, but now I'm spending a little more time on Ultimate, and now that we have that we the meta has advanced. I feel like we could talk about these two things a lot more. There's not much to say about wave dashing. Wave dashing is just I've seen some people do some crazy stuff like with ice climbers and stuff, but for right now, I think the more viable option would be wave dashing. Wave dashing to wave dashing. Oh my gosh, no. Wave landing is something that's used a lot. Mobility, getting out of disadvantage. Mostly on those things. Not much on the advantage stage for certain characters. Um, so now that like we've seen players like MK Leo implement into their game, and actually like use it as a punish option for in the advantage state for certain characters. I feel it does really well. But let's talk about the more simple things for now. Now that the meta has fully developed, like I said, we're able to see that how people use directional air dodging. What it is. So wave landing, in essence, if you don't know what it is that directional air is just basically directional air dodge into a platform like this, or into the stage like this. It could be like this. You could be off stage like this and just do this. So a lot of people, what they do is, because you can't air dodge off stage like this, and then maybe barely even reach like this from really, you could barely even do it from so far away, but it's so punishable afterwards. But if you just try to air dodge like this, and air dodge in place or air dodge down, you're not gonna make it. So you only get one air dodge off stage. Oh, so basically one air dodge in the air until you touch ground, and that's all it is. It's an old technique from Melee, so that's all it is basically, just directional air dodge. And if you do it fast enough, you're gonna be able to get like basically the shortest amount of lag out of it. You cut a lot of frames of basically being airborne, and you just get all the landing lag frames, which in this game are not as good as Melee's, but as the meta developed, like I said, we're able to see how off like people use directional air dodge. Usually people just use directional air dodge for these couple of things. They're off stage and they air dodge right into the edge, or they're right here and they air dodge right into the platform, or they're right here and they air dodge right into the stage, like this off stage, and they air dodge into the stage basically. So everything gravitates towards center stage. In this game, center stage is much more important. Reason being is because you can't go through characters, and that makes it so much much harder for people to basically be here in the ledge. The pressure just becomes immense. It's good for slow characters, because before they would just be able to run through them and just get center stage again. And in Smash 4 and all the other Smash games, there's a problem. Or basically, I wouldn't say it's a problem. I would see it more as a pros and cons. One of the pros would be like, okay, if you have a fast character, you'll be able to get out of disadvantage really easy. So I think that's an important note. So what are some pros and some cons about this? Okay, a pro about having directional air dodge with a lot of lag. It depends how you see it. If you're in advantage, state and someone air dodges into you like this, you're gonna be able to just punish them like really easy, because there's a lot of lag. Look at this. I'm right here in the air dodge. Look how much lag there is, and I'm shielding you, and it's one of the fastest options that a lot of characters have. Some characters don't have really fast options. So if I do this, look how much time they have to like do it. Even if I'm close, there's a lot of time for you to punish or even get me. So it's fairly good for people in advantage. It's not good for people in disadvantage. But the good thing, if you're in disadvantage, is that if you basically waveland, or just directional air dodge in any way, you have more mix-ups for recovery in that sense. So that's another good thing. You could do you could basically directionally air dodge into any direction and just air dodge in place. That's not really wave landing, but it comes to your mix-up options along with aerials or any attack or special attributes in characters like counters or side Bs like with Ike. So it helps your mix-up along with it. Just helps along with your mix-ups, right? So usually that's the way it's gonna be done. There's gonna be characters coming from off the stage and try to waveland into the stage or into you, so they gravitate to center stage, like I said. And if you hold center stage very well in this game with a lot of characters and just play very fundamentally, you're gonna be able to cover wavelands a lot better. If you're in the disadvantage, you want to use it as wisely as possible, as closest to the ground or platform you can, like this. That way you get the least amount of lag and you'll be able to counter quickly. Yeah, so we'll go over a couple other things right now. So let's cover how to do it, and I'll talk about more about the wave landing and the uses for wave landing. Okay, so wave landing, I need you guys to learn what character you have and see the attributes in their jump and direction air dodge just to start off. Like for example, look at Snake. His short hop, I can see his head go over, but it's not good enough. Usually, a lot of characters, most characters, need to have at least 3/4 of the character, or at least like 6/7, I would say, out of your character. Like this. Like this is my full hop with Snake, and it doesn't go fully over. But then I can't do this because it takes forever. And then I have to time the how I hold down, because if I don't do it, I'm gonna go through a platform like this. So I have to wait to reach the peak of my jump and then hold down. That way I can actually fast fall it. But if I wave land, I can do this, and I immediately can hit the platform without having to wait till the peak of my jump or anything. So the way that I'm doing it, and the reason why this is important, like I said, look, you see the jump, like my full jump doesn't get me over there. But the thing is, here comes the next part. Air dodging. I don't know if you guys know this, that when you directional air dodge, you should know this. But if you don't and you're just new to the scene, pay attention. When you directional air dodge, you actually go the opposite way first. Let's turn on some of the settings. Yeah, let's just play that, and let's see. I think like this. Like you go the opposite way of whatever way you're trying to hold. You see how I'm going up. You see, I go left and then right, but I'm actually holding right. So if I'm here and I'm full hopping, and then I directionally air dodge down, I'm gonna go up a little bit, then I'm gonna actually go down. So that means that my character is gonna completely cross over, and I'm gonna be able to wave land successfully. See that? So basically, I think Snake has one of the easier ones. So that's pretty cool. You see that? I could even double jump and go for it. And then I could buffer a grab. I could buffer a jab. I could buffer almost anything. I could buffer an up tilt. I think that's cool, but I think Snake doesn't benefit as much as other characters because he could like pressure without having to actually get on platforms. I think characters with better aerials, or they don't have zoning tools, like characters that really need to move places to actually pressure, or I think those characters are gonna benefit a lot. Like you got like characters like oh, actually, I want to mention this first. Characters that have like really bad fall speeds that are really floaty. You see how like the Snake is pretty floaty. Like he's heavy, but like his jump like keep me up in the air a lot. So that takes forever to hit this. So I think characters like Ike and Marth would do really, really good. Like, yeah, because since they're floaty, they really get the advantage of this in this technique. They're able to like waveland to platforms and then like do aerials, which I'll show you right now. So yes, things that you need to know: your jump and your air dodge attribute, and then after that, you should just get a custom. Okay, like my character needs a full hop, then just an air dodge, like Snake, or he needs a double jump into an air dodge. Because certain characters' air dodges actually don't move you that much from the opposite direction. They move you like a little bit, which is pretty important. And certain characters like Snake benefit from this technique a lot because, for example, they're like in this case, Snake's up B. Snake's up B doesn't have you don't end up in a position where you can't act out of it. You're actually free to act out of your up B. So that's pretty cool. You see that one was really clean. The last one. I'm trying to do it like as buffered as possible. You wanna do this directional air dodge as fast as possible, as close to the ground as possible. That's the way you need to do it. I'm trying to get it as close as possible. Well, you guys understand. Doing wavelands could open up a door to a lot of things, like ledge dashing. It's not as good in this case because, as you notice, there's a lot of frames. There's a lot of frames where you can't do anything. But it would be good, like for example, you get a Dragon Ball Z where one character ends up really far. Both characters end up really far because they hit each other, like a trade, and then you just get on stage and you just waveland into the stage. You avoid grabbing the ledge and being stuck a certain amount of frames into another option. So that's pretty cool. Or especially if they're really far and or they do an option that they shouldn't do. The only thing you gotta be careful with, like what I did, you could die because, like I said, you only get one air dodge. So let's go into Ike so we can see Ike. I think Ike's a great example. I don't know if you guys seen Leo use Ike. I've seen him use wavelands and they're really good. I feel like now that we have a really good sense of how like neutral is played and how basically the layout of how we move around in space and play advantage and disadvantage is more clear. We're able to use this a lot better. So I'll give you some concepts really quick. Let's say Greninja is trying. He's just dash dancing here, right? He's trying to get middle stage. That way he could pressure me. Because remember, center stage is stronger because I can't go through people. And so I get pressured into interactions with other players. Which I'll talk about that in the future. So let's say I waveland up here, right? And I jump full hop and just waveland back. I could do this basically. Just waveland like this, full hop waveland, and then I'll have like a ton of options to just like basically pressure him because I'll go in like this. Damn, wait. I go in like this and then just hit him with fair. If he ends up trying to throw a hitbox here, he might not have time to dash back. But if he dashes back, it'll be basically a mix-up game of a couple things. The best thing here is that he throws an aerial, but if he throws an aerial, it'll suck for him because basically either he has to try to dash back, or just has to shield because he won't have time to run away from it. I'll have to do this. So if he shields, I can hit him, pressure shield. And if he tries to run away and I kind of just read it a little bit, and I go further from that, I'll hit his shield spaced, and he's gonna have to like basically take it, and he won't be able to punish me out of shield as easily. So this how you use this technique is it's gonna be all on you. And then if he decides to shield, I could just like go here, basically go up here and just grab him. It's gonna I'm trying to do it as fast as possible. Look, like that. And certain aerials are basically unparable and could guarantee your grab, because certain characters don't have really like the best out of shield options, or just the frame advantage on aerials is just too big. Like for example, Falcon in Smash 4, he was able to like up air you, and most characters wouldn't be able to do anything. Maybe if they're lucky, spot dodge, and I would get a guaranteed grab with Falcon like this. Boom. It was like really crazy. So it all becomes a mix-up great game of like, okay, I could like pretend I'm gonna throw like a full hop aerial, just Waveland, and boom, I'm gonna go in, Waveland back. I'm trying to get it right. Okay, and then he thinks I'm gonna throw a full hop aerial, so he decides to dash attack or throw a full hop aerial. It's gonna suck for him, because I could, if he tries to run under me, I could just drop down back air. If he tries to go away from me, I could just drop down fair. If he stays in place and just put shield, I could just drop down grab. I could do a lot of things. I could just like try to get on the other platform if I don't feel safe like this. Just run away from him. So I think that's quite important actually. It's really gonna help your punish game and disadvantage, because let's say you're getting comboed. In this situation, let's say you're here, right? He hit you with the down tilt, and then he didn't get you with the clean down tilt. What will happen is that you could basically Waveland into a platform. You use your double jump and just Waveland into a platform like this, and then you just hold up your shield. That way, if he doesn't have a command grab, you'll be able to like be safe, or you could just jump away again. And if you're the one in advantage and you want to chase, you could also do that and read it and just get a grab, or you could just okay, he's right here. He can Waveland into the platform on the left. You can Waveland into the platform on the right. So that has to do a lot with it. So remember, I'm gonna repeat this. You want to learn the attributes of your character, how far and how like it pushes your character back and then forward. How far does the Waveland go, and how good is their jump? Like look at Ike's jump. I could do that and just kind of hold down, but it's a little weird. So I could just do this and just buffer the aerial, because a lot of, like I said, they could do this, and I could just be right here and just, if they try to air dodge into the edge, I could try to 2-frame him with like a lot of moves, or just try to cover this area of space. Even if they try to Waveland into the stage, I could just fair here, throw back here. If they try to get higher, I could just double back here. If they're gonna Waveland, and if they're gonna Waveland into his platform, I could just do this, and I'll have the advantage, because I know where they're going. Especially if I do this space. I do the space one where it just kind of like moves me away, kind of like a wave dash Waveland, because Waveland in general is just like the concept of how you do it is like all up to you. You could just do it straight down. But I think this is good because it gives you the space, and it gives you the distance that you need to basically cover a bunch of options and the lag that it has basically. Because it doesn't, it has more lag than it used to in melee, because in melee in melee has less lag. So when you're shield, you're able to do this basically, just wave dash, like wave dash back is like wave dash is basically a Waveland, and it would allow me to get like punishes better. But in this game, I can't do it. I've seen people do it with other characters, but we're still not there yet. I don't think it's gonna be possible. Like like 99% impossible to actually use. But I think Waveland, it's actually okay, like to use with, like it's good in this game. They try to like I said, they try to recover, right? Like get into Waveland, and we'll be able to get the aerial. Or I could just get the grab here. I could also just stay here and just fair, right? But this allows me to get more, like, space higher for situations where I wouldn't normally reach. For example, like how I was using Snake. Snakes usually like to go high, so I could Waveland here and just go like really high. Or I could just like Waveland really, really high like this. So that it allows me to camp center stage and cover platforms. So, like, very well. And let's say they're gonna run. Now they're under pressure because they messed up. So, the concepts are there. I'm here, and they decide to dash in. Waveland fair. Waveland downer. Waveland nair. Waveland fall down grab. Waveland. Waveland, and then forward tilt. So it's like, I don't really recommend Wavelanding much if you're like that if you're in advantage. Because just because just fast falling is okay and you get good dash speed. So I think it'll benefit characters like I said, Ike. It'll help you cover options that you never could. And it's gonna be really, really beneficial for certain characters that don't have like the best jump and they're very extremely floaty. But if you're a fast faller like Greninja and Fox and all that those kind of characters, I don't think there's a need for you to be using Waveland in advantage. I think you'll be like very occasionally, but learning how patterns for Waveland work for recovery, like I said, that's very important. And for you to learn how to mix up those recovery patterns with Wavelanding. So just to recap real quick, you want to do your Waveland as close to the ground or platform as possible. That way you're not stuck in this animation. Look at that. All that, they have so much time to run. So there's pros and cons to this. Remember that. Like if you're in advantage, it's good for you. It could be bad for you on disadvantage. So it's what you make out of it. Remember that, guys. And if you get better with it, and if you don't feel like it's useful in the matchup, don't use it. It's like simple as that. Alright guys, hope you guys enjoyed. Hopefully this was very helpful to you guys, at least somewhat entertaining. That's a plus for me. I just really wanted to cover that. How to Waveland. I've seen people Waveland, but it's terrible. Don't think it's bad. Don't expect going in that you're gonna be a master of Waveland, or don't feel like your Waveland is always perfect. It could always get better. Especially if you're getting comboed, I think that's a very important skill, and for recovery, more than just advantage. Because certain characters don't have like good, they don't have basically good landing techniques. So if I'm here, I could do that. I usually just use my double jump into a Waveland into a platform. and that would help me out. Just little examples here and there. So learn it for more of defensive tools. You could use it for offensive tools, but only in certain matchups and in certain situations. Uh, Find if it's helpful for your character, and just remember that the properties, the 2 points, properties of your jump, and the properties of your air dodge, and that should be it. And just that staying as low as possible. And if you want to space yourself like this, or you just want to go straight down, and remember you could buffer stuff out of it. So those are your options when it comes to those things. So alright guys, hope you guys enjoy this mini tutorial for Wavelanding. It will involve a couple things that I show you guys in the near future, so that would be really cool. So see you guys later. Adios.